Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little bit of time and I wanted to hop on here to show you my sterling ink N1. It's the TN size. I think it's the N1. Actually, I'll let you know right now. It is, yes, the N1, which is the TN size sterling ink, and this is my setup for 2025. If you watched my previous ones, it's very similar to my week setup. This is what my weeks looks like at the end of the year. And yeah, it's pretty much very similar to what this setup was. I just changed a few things and I upped the size to a standard size. So this is my Travelers company airline cover. I don't know if I'll keep it all year, but I have a bunch of Travelers Company ones, so I'll be switching back and forth basically from them. But this is the one that I have right now. And my throat is a little bit, I'm a little congested, so just bear with me. I have my tea, but actually I'm just going to take this off for the time being to make things just a little bit easier. But this is... I got the Mulberry N1. It's the full year and it's horizontal layout. These are just some cards that I stuck in there. My husband got me this Mimikyu. It's hard to see, but probably there's a glare. But he's like on a little knitted blanket and she's knitting. So I'm a knitter. I thought that was really cute. And this is a tarot card from my Final Fantasy tarot deck. It's Ashes of the Crystals. It's really, really beautiful. But basically there was a misprint, and so they gave, but these are like my tarot cards. There was a misprint, and so he sent the new one over, and I just put it in there. I have, I'm not going to really share the stuff here, but I have a picture of my husband when he was a kid. I have another picture of my cousin. And then I have my grandparents' little card from the wake back here. This is my cat's little paw print, the one that had passed away a couple of years ago, or technically like a year and a half ago. So that's all I have there. And then I found this it's really long, so you can, I guess, screenshot it and try to read it, but I really like this quote, so I put it in here. These are just sterling ink stickers that I'm trying to work through. This is at a year at a glance. I'm going to move this for now so that things are a little bit flatter. This, by the way, is from my friend Taylor. She has an Etsy shop, which I will link below. So I have this. I have a couple other ones, but I love sunflowers, so I just left that in here. And I just have it attached to the elastic. Oh, real quick. So I did get this cover from Sterling Ink, and what I ended up doing was which maybe I need to snip it a little bit. I stuck the elastic through the cover, not so much the actual notebook, so that maybe it wouldn't ruin the notebook. I don't know. It seems to be working out, so I'm just going to leave it. And the other thing before we really dive in, it is the TN cover fits, but it's very snug, right? There's a little overhang. I'm not bothered by it. I don't particularly care. So it is what it is, but just in case anybody else was wondering, I think if you were to get the compact version, it wouldn't hang out like this, but this is the full year. And yeah, so that's just my thing. So we have a year at a glance, which I don't know what I'm going to do. In the past, I have used this for, what's that called? For days off for me and my husband. But because Sterling Ink has included, which we'll get to that one in a second, included this year at a glance. I'm going to use this as the time off tracker for me and my husband. Just because there are 2 lines per day and it's just a little bit easier. So I think for here, I might honestly track maybe like 2 different colors as to what's recycling, what's cardboard, what's all, and I'll have that pre-marked for us because I don't really know what to do with that. So, and I think I'm just going to color in. I'll probably designate like blue for recycling, maybe like a brown for cardboard, and then, I don't know, like a green for everything, and I'll mark those in. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing here. I'm not 100% sure. There are 2 blank pages, so I don't know if I'm going to do anything here. I might just leave it that way, which is fine with me. And then this was the goal breakdown. I filled this out last year and I didn't glance at it once. Hold on. I didn't glance at it once throughout the whole year. So I decided to repurpose this. You can see my tabs back here. In my 2024, I had a workout tab and I kind of just migrated that over and I mimicked it here. So I have 1 through 52 for both my husband and I, which I will mark down. If I do like a high intensity, I'll mark it as an X, or if I just do like a walking or something, I'll mark it as a check mark. And then I'm probably, I don't know if I'm really going to do it, but this side right here, like this little extra space, I'm going to do like a weekly weigh-in and see if anything changes. So I'm not I'm not going to go crazy about the weigh-ins. I don't want to say I don't care, but it's not going to be something that I'm like, oh my God, I really need to do. That's not, but it's there. So that's what I ended up doing with this page, because I really didn't use the goal breakdown. I had them filled out and I just never glanced at it. So I just repurposed this page. And then, like I said, this will be the time off. What I was doing was I was printing, this is from, I believe this is from Paper Test Designs. And I was printing this out, writing them in, and then kind of marking off my times. And I did that for both my husband and I, and then I had them in there. But now that she has this page in here, Sterling Ink has the page in here, I decided that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. And I probably will do the same thing where it's like the days that we both have off for like holidays. My husband has a few other days during the year, specifically in October, November, where he's got like 2 or 3 more holidays off than I do. So I will mark holidays one thing, and then our time off, I probably like color code them. Probably will make them easier where it's like pink for me, blue for him, you know. I'm not entirely sure, but that's basically how I'm going to work on or utilize this page. I don't know what else to use it for. I was going to do like steps or workouts or whatever, but I have that all in other places, which I'll show you. Same with my sleeping. I have that in another place. I'm actually tracking it in a lot of places as it is, or I feel like a lot of places. So, I figured this is probably the best thing for me to use it with. And that means I don't have to reprint this out, fill in all these numbers, and yeah, I don't have to do any of that. So, and then I have, this will be my workout tracker. Again, I had it in a previous section, but I've eliminated that and I've utilized this because I tried to use this last year as like a highlight of the day. It's very small for me, so I didn't really like it. Whereas this kind of gives me a little bit, I don't know, more usage, I guess. So I have cycle, yoga, strength, walk, cardio, which will be something like if I ever pick up running again, something like that, or if we actually play tennis, things like that, or swimming, I'm just gonna mark it in there. DLB, which is the Dana Lynn Bailey app, and then stretching, because I do not do enough stretching or yoga. And I've just realized that yoga and stretching are about the same color, so whatever. It is what it is. But that's how I'm going to utilize this page. And then, I don't know, I'm thinking I might put like, count them, like, you know, I cycled 15 days out of the 31, right? I don't really know what I'm going to do down here. I don't know if it really matters. I'm not stressed about it, so I don't really care. As for my priorities, again, I didn't really use this page that much last year. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is, I think I'm going to put what books I read in a month. I read I read a lot. I'm up to about like 24 books this year or something, which isn't a crazy amount, but considering I didn't read basically anything last year, not last year, 2024, 2023, I didn't really read a lot, and I had just started getting back into all this. I don't go through that many per month, so I think I'm going to put the pictures of the book here just to kind of fill it in, bring some life to the page. I think that is what I'm going to do. And maybe if I do have a priority for the quarter, I will put it in here. But I'm not going to really stress about this page because that's not really what this is about for me. So this way, all my like workout stuff is all kind of together. So that's kind of my goal. I'm going to do the same thing for all 4 quarters. Yeah. So that's how I'm going to utilize these. And then we go into the months. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I am jumping in December. A lot has happened that I just kind of feel like I want a little bit of a fresh start. So I am jumping in this December and calling it a day. So I just have a couple things covered, but this is basically the gist of, I try to leave these as minimal as possible because I do utilize this as a quick glance as to things that happen and that I need to know what happened on a day, versus like going through the weeks, right? So I like a couple stickers. I try not to go crazy on a monthly view just because I need it to be an all-encompassing quick glance. What happened? What do I need to know? Like what happened with Kenshin? If we have doctor's appointments, those kinds of things. These monthly stickers, I've had them from Sterling Ink. I have officially used them up. I'm so happy they are on all of them, on all the months. And these are from Southern Belle Plans, which is basically my sticker collection for the most part. And I forgot to mention, this will be my everyday carry. This is what I will take with me everywhere. So all the months basically look the same. I'm just going to show you January because I have added, I didn't do in December, but I have them written down here, the people that they coordinate with. But I use these from, she was Sweet Freckled Design, and she recently changed her name. So I'll link her shop and I'll put like Sweet Freckled Design, AKA whatever, because I can't remember what her new shop name is, to be honest with you. But these are just the itty bitties. That's what it's called. This is kind of how they look. This is, like a YouTube thing, but this is how they look. It was Sweet Freckled Designs. And I will link her shop below because I really can't remember what her new name is. But I love her stickers. They're really cute. They're just great. So, and I'm not gonna, all the months are the same. So you get the gist. Then we have the weeks. I haven't done anything in these weeks, but this is the horizontal layout for the TN size. And I am probably going to utilize it the same way that I'm using it now. But I might shift it around. I'm not sure. I basically do a weekly tarot card. I don't do daily pulls. I do a weekly tarot card. I have two specific decks that I like to use. I like to use my Zelda and my, sorry for the, and then my animal ones. These are the ones that I like to use a whole lot. I'll link his Kickstarter if you're interested in, they have Final Fantasy, Zelda, and now Sailor Moon, which is a Kickstarter. And then this one, it's just an animal. They're really pretty if you're into tarot cards. You know, so what I have been doing is I generally set the tone, I guess is the way to say it, or the intention for the week, and I put it up here. I even have this like little tarot card little stamp that I like kind of do there. And then I'll just write briefly what it is, and then I do a to-do list down here. And then what I have been doing is just kind of a recap of the day. I think what I'm going to end up doing is kind of splitting, not splitting completely down the middle, but maybe leaving like 5 or 6 lines here so I could just put if there's any appointments so that they don't get lost in the shuffle. Because I've realized that in the last, especially with everything going on right now, the last couple weeks, it's been kind of hard to see what the appointments are or what has happened. So just to kind of differentiate that a little bit more, that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm just going to put like a little line, put whatever appointments are here, and then I can write the highlight of the day. Just a quick, I really like how it looks. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing for here. And then if I need to switch it around, I switch it around. It's not a big deal. But that is my plan for the monthlies. And then we go into how I broke this up. So we start off with, I forget how many pages in the back you have that are blank. I'm not 100% sure, but it's all in the listing for Sterling Ink. So, and I just did the same thing that I did last year, tabbed them off, and then I separate everything by vellum. Now, last year I had done an index. I am not doing that this year. I have eliminated this because I never used it. So that's something that I've eliminated. I told you that I moved the workout to the beginning. I also took out garden because I didn't use that at all. So the other thing that I eliminated was I was taking the weather, the highs and lows, sunrise, sunset. I was doing really well. And then I went on vacation and then I never really got back into it. So I don't really reference this as much as I thought I was going to. So I've eliminated this as well. I don't care for that. I actually think, so I ended up getting a cousin. Oops. I ended up getting a cousin. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is in the cousin on the weekly. I did it the last time I had it. I think I'm just going to put the highs and lows up here with the sunrise, sunset, like in this little area up here. I think that's how I'm going to do it if I want to keep track of it. So, so like I said, this is going to be my everyday carry. I am going to use this as like my full-blown journal session. I will have a plethora of details in here versus just like a highlight of what's happening here. So that's kind of how I'm envisioning this. So I have my health, which I just have here like doctor information. So literally I list out all our doctors that we have between my husband and I and the pets. So I list that out here. And then basically, because I don't mind showing you this way. Why is it doing that? Oh, this is kind of how I do this. So this is how all of ours looks. So I have like the person or the cat's name up here. I only do the date of birth really for my my cats. And then I write down everything that has happened. I did backtrack this for my husband, me, and Oreo, where I think I have like 2022, about 2022 information. But yeah, this is basically what I do. I write the date, what happened, blah, 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 blah. As you can see, but basically when we got him about 3 weeks, like the long and short of it was we got him about 3 weeks after getting him. He was diagnosed with FIP, which is feline infectious peritonitis, or I don't even think I'm saying that right. I don't care. It's FIP. And yeah, it's been a journey. So we are coming to the end of that journey, and everything looks great thus far. So we just kind of got to make it through the next 2 weeks or so. So again, I've done my share of crying. I'm not going to get into it. If you know what FIP is, you know the struggle. If not, Google it. I don't know. It was quite the journey. So I'm just very happy that he is doing well. But all that to say, this is kind of how I do the medicals for all of us. And I just kind of keep track of things, symptoms, what happened at the doctor's office, what was said, what was not. And I kind of track those things if things were done, like blood work, whatever the case. And this goes for like me, my husband, and Oreo as well. So I have a history of all that. So when I go to the doctors, I have it here. Now, the other thing that I do want to do is, so I don't have to keep writing multiple years and, you know, backdating multiple years, so I really got to update my rings, because that would be the one that I probably would take to the doctors going forward and then just backfill it in here. That's kind of my guess. That's my idea. So that's kind of my medical. And then I have my cycle. I already have it here, basically the months, I have the days, and then I just kind of mark, you know, when I get it, how long it's been, and that's basically what I do. I have the last 2 years in here as well. Super easy, super simple. I just don't want to make things more complicated than they have to be. So then what I ended up doing was I have my monthly trackers. These are all the things that I like to track. Just, you know, there's just an array of things that I personally like to track. So I have my habits, my symptoms, my moods, sleep, and steps. The red is deep sleep because I wear the Apple Watch, and I kind of get a gauge of what that is. And let me just show you an example of that. Here's a completed month, right? So you kind of get the gist of, I have how many hours I slept and if I got deep sleep, and I coordinate these to the colors of the Apple Watch. So red is not great. This brown color or tan color is okay. Green is pretty decent, and blue is what you really want to get. I really struggle with that. So, and then I write my steps down. I don't write the exact number, but just kind of what thousands they're in. So that's kind of what I do here. And I really like how it looks over time. Some months, you know, I definitely was in Italy in July, so I didn't keep track of that. But yeah, so this is, I like how it looks. Again, I do the same thing in terms of working out. If I do an intense workout, I will mark it as an X. If I do it as a lighter workout, I check it off. And then I just have the moon phases. So the first, the full, the last, and the new moon. Because I track my moods and stuff with the moon. So what else? I left, because this is a TN and I have extra room, I have left, you'll see it in my December, because again, I moved in sooner. I left this extra bit here because sometimes I feel like there are, I don't know, I get more headaches or whatever the case may be. I have a couple things that I'd like to really jot down and stick out, or make stick out. And I just didn't have a lot of room. in my week size. So I basically shifted this over a little bit, and I have this extra room that if I needed to write something that I felt was important in terms of a symptom or whatever the case may be, I could jot it down here. And yeah. And I have already mapped out the months, right? June, whatever. I marked those out. And then I go right into my lunar trackers. So September, I got in here a little bit early with this part, but September, October, November, I have to just print out December's. And yeah, I basically, oh gosh, you heard my cats. Yeah, I basically write, this probably doesn't help anybody. So I basically write my energy or my mood or whatever. So if I'm in a bad mood or I have low energy, super tired, I'll write that in here. I have this little stamp thing that I try to mark the weather. I don't really care so much. And then I kind of do, again, this is where I'm talking about how I do a lot of, I track my sleep in multiple places, so I didn't feel like it was needed at the beginning. But yeah, I do the same thing. So how many hours, and then what color it is, because to kind of get a gauge. I'm trying to see if there is a correlation between where the moon phase is and my sleep schedule and all that other stuff. Yeah, so I write my symptoms, like if I have really bad cramps, those kinds of things. I write that down on this this page. So yeah, so I have December, and I have that all marked out for the rest of the year. And then we go into finance. By the way, these vellums, except for the very last one that I'll show you, are all from Sterling Ink. I basically just kind of cut them out to size, and I put these little tabs. And I have a label maker, so I just stuck that on here. So I have my fixed monthly, some of the things that I pay for on a monthly basis for myself. So I have that all here. And then I have my yearly expenses that we write down, or I write down, and I keep track of all that in this view, which I really, really like. I would show you what the other one looked like, but it's super helpful. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. This has helped me a great deal. So there's that. And then basically what I'm going to end up doing, Kenshin. All right, you're going to hear noises. My cat is going. He's messing around over here. I write down the credit cards that I have, like how much debt I have in it, and then like the total. And then I have the monthly spending. I did really well like the first 6 months of the year. So I'm going to try it again because it did help, but I just wrote down literally everything, or I tried to, everything that I spend, and like categorize them into like hobby, home, that kind of thing, and then I added it up. I really liked it, so I'm going to try it again this year. Not a big deal. And I just have that basically marked off until the end of the year. What did you take? Oh, he's got a sticky note. Then I have my home information. So that's basically like anything that happens, like we clean the AC, right? We got it serviced, put it in here. We had an issue with our toilet. I wrote it in here. Things like that. Anything that has to do with the house, I kind of write it in here. Then I have information. I really like this. I ended up doing, now, I didn't do it every time, but okay. So what I ended up doing was I marked down AC and the heat, and then what I basically did was, you could see it here. I marked it down when I use the heat or the AC, if I used it upstairs or downstairs, whatever. And then at the bottom, I wrote how much the bill was. So yeah, I mean, I'm not so bad. Although this has been basically all heat because it's been really cold here. So yeah, that's basically how I utilize this. And then I have kind of like a key here. So A is AC, H is heat, you know, so on. Then I have my car information. Again, if we get service, tune up, that kind of stuff. And then I just left some spots here for ongoing home to-do lists. Like I want to paint the railing outside, for example. I want to get the bathroom, not the bathroom, the basement done downstairs. So I'll end up putting that in here. And then if we end up spending anything, I'd like to calculate it this year as to how much we used. So that's what that is. Then we go into the book section, which is very similar to what I had last year. So I have my 5-star rating books, which looks like this. The only difference that I am going to do is last year I literally just wrote it this way, what they were in my ratings. What I'm going to do this year is I'm going to take these lines out. I had, thankfully, I did this all in pencil. Go me. So I'm going to white this out, and what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to print these out. I use this little printer. I use this printer. My Canon Ivy. It's really great. I print 4 per page, and then I cut them and I stick them here. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to print them out and then just put the rating underneath. And that's what I just, this worked. I don't know, it's a little boring. So I really like how this looks, brings color to the page. So that's what I'm going to end up doing. And I mapped it out, like roughly how many. There's about 16 I could put per page. So that's 32 physical books. I barely got to 32 this year, let alone in physical books. So I think I'm at like 25. So I think there's more than enough. I have my audio. I'm going to do the same thing. And then worst case scenario, if I need to, I have some extra space right behind my, my To Be Read list and my book recommendations to put more pictures here if I need to put more audio or physical books. I doubt I'm going to need it, but that's there. Yeah, I basically have my To Be Read list, which is more or less all the books that I have physically in my house. And I think some of these are on the Kindle. And then I put the format and if I read it. And then these are just kind of like book recommendations that I've seen on like Book Talks or Instagram or people who have recommended me. So I write them here and I don't have them. The only thing I do like, I think like my friend has the 7-year slip, which is why I have this like little dot here. So I can like borrow it from her versus buying it, you know? So that's basically that. And then I have my knitting section because again, I'm a knitter. I primarily, socks are probably my favorite. This is not a knitting YouTube video, but you can kind of see these are, you know. And so basically what I ended up doing, wait, everything's getting a little cluttered here for 1 second. What I ended up doing was I wrote down, the long and short of it is when I knit a pair of socks for people, I generally ask them what size shoe they have. And then I have this ruler that I knit my socks from cuff down. And then I basically have to measure out where to put the heel and the toe, right? So that's kind of what I did here was I wrote the ranges of like standard women's sizes, 6 to 10, and then where I would start my decreases. And I did the same for the men's shoe sizes. And then I just have a couple of informations in here, like if you knit socks or you're a knitter, you may understand what I'm talking about, but basically how many stitches I have. Like my husband, for example, like 76 stitches. And then my one cousin she likes the 72 stitch. So things like that I just write down here so I don't have to do a lot of thinking, which has been super, super helpful. So everything is kind of neat and organized that way, which I really like. And then I put who they are and their shoe sizes so that I can kind of say, okay, Lewis is or my uncle is a 9.5. That means that I have to knit to 8.25 inches. That's not English. 8.25 inches before I start the toe decreases and my basic toe decreases. So this has been wonderful, and I really, really love this. Yeah. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I would like to, I think again, to bring some color to the page, I would like to use the Canon Ivy and put little pictures of like take a picture of my socks, put it and put like a little bit of information on the side, like for Lewis, whatever, the colorway and that kind of stuff. That's what I would like to do. And that is basically my section. Then we go into the actual blank pages that I am going to use for 2025. Now, this one I got from Sweet Freckle Designs. This little tag my husband got. I don't know where he got it from. I can ask him and I can let you know. But I just put that in here. And then what I wanted to do this year, because I did like it last year, is I just put, this is where I will put the highlight of the day. Like, I don't know, doctor's appointment for Kenshin, right? Something like that. If I miss a day, I miss a day. I don't really care. But this will be at a glance what happened that month, and maybe I'll put a picture at the bottom. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I have already pre-made all of these, so I don't have to do that all the way to December. Now, I really was going to wait till January 1st to go into this page, into this notebook, but again, with everything that had gone on recently, I said, screw it, I'm just jumping in. So I just did my December, same thing, tracker, all the same information. Today's the 1st of December, so I'm going to fill that out. And then I just kind of played around with it. I did a vertical layout just to try to see how I like it. I did a vertical layout because the cousin is vertical. So that's what I'm gonna end up doing, right? This is vertical, so I'll basically use that. So I was just trying to mess around with it and see how I like it. I'll do my tarot cards down here, my weekly to-do list, or like maybe up here. My weekly to-do list. I don't have generally a daily to-do list. If I have anything, it will be up here, or like I said, on the here, I'll probably put them on this side. I don't have anything that's crazy like I need to do. I generally have something that I would like to get done in the middle during the week, so I'll put that here and then I'll just cross it out. But yeah, that's basically it. And I'll play with this layout. This is what I'm doing for this week. Maybe I will do the same thing, or maybe I'll switch it up. I'm not really sure. This is a pencil board that I got from Hominichi. I realized, or maybe I didn't look hard enough, I could not find a TN size pencil board. So I just took an A5 and I cut it down to size. And I cut it just a little bit. Just a little bit. You can see there's a little of this because when I close it, it pushes it out, and this way it doesn't hang out. So that's what I like, and then I'll just put some stickies here. But yeah, so I did that. And then I basically already what I plan to do, if I do have anything that is super like I need to do, or this get my brain dumping out, I will write it here like December 1st and what my to-do list is. If there's just too much going on in my head, that's what I'm going to end up doing. And this will also be kind of like, this will be my travel journal. So I really don't feel like taking this thing with me if I do go anywhere this year. I just want to be able to take one thing with me and, you know, keep track of everything that happened. If I end up backfilling this, then I do. Otherwise, I am not going to stress about my cousin and I'm going to try not to stress about my cousin and having blank pages. So if we end up going somewhere and I'm traveling and, you know, I'm gone for 2 weeks, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily come back and fill those 2 weeks up. I don't see that happening, if I'm being completely honest. But I would like to just take this one thing with me, a couple pens, maybe a couple Tombow things, and some washi tape, and I will put my stuff in here, and that's it. Like, that is my goal for this. So I have all this in the back. I did pre-mark, like, you know, technically by now, if I were to trickle in, I did divide it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So so that I have an even number of pages per month if I have to write something in there. I didn't get to it in my weeks. I don't see myself getting it here, so I'm not really worried about it, but I have it there just as a guide. And yeah, like, you know, little receipts or just some stickers that remind me of the place, or stamps or whatever. I'm going to put it in here because at the end of the year, I think looking back at this is probably what I would do. And then I'm going to supplement that with this, that because I'm doing things in a highlight on the one thing, like, how do I explain this? This will have more thoughts, right? This will be more detailed. What happened, you know, all those kinds of things. So I don't really want to carry this around or lose it or whatever the case may be. Like, sometimes they'll have really deep thoughts and things that I don't generally want everybody to see, right? Like a true journal diary type thing versus just kind of giving a highlight. Went to Kenshin's appointment. Doctor said this, we have, you know, one more treatment to go, or something, right? Something very basic. That's my plan, if I'm being completely honest. Something that I could take to a work setting, because I will have this with me all times, something I could take to work or on vacation or whatever. And that's not so like, oh my God, I don't want somebody to read that, right? That's rough. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's how I plan to use this. And I think it'll be really great because even like here, for example, like we went to Ecuador and like I kind of did this and I loved it. I really, really loved how this ended up turning out. You know, I just put a bunch of stuff in here and I really enjoyed how this ended up looking. So I kind of plan to do the same thing. And that is basically my 2025 Sterling ink setup. Really basic, really simple, nothing too crazy. I have this little guy back here, and I think that's basically it. I don't think there's anything more to really say about that. I did order some dots I've seen people do like a dot system. So that's the one thing I'm going to incorporate is like medical stuff, for example, like Kenshin, he's my primary example. If, you know, doctor's appointment, doctor said X, Y, and Z, I'm probably going to put like a little dot that is associated to a medical thing, or maybe like medical cats. And then I will go to the cousin, and I'll go to that day and see exactly what was said or what was, you know, described or something. And it will be all here in detail. And I kind of like that system. So I'll get like a high level view of what was said or done or whatever the case may be. And then if I need additional more details, I can go to this. So that's the only thing. My dots are coming, I think, this week. But if anybody has, last thing, I generally use my Pilot Vanishing Point. This is an extra fine pen. So depending on what I'm doing, I either switch between the Hobonichi or the Pilot. Generally, if I'm out, I'll use the Hobonichi because if I'm being quick with something, I don't want to wait. Well, it doesn't take very long for it to dry. There is a delay, like a slight time delay. And sometimes, I don't know, I'm in a rush. So I generally use this one when I'm at home, and then this one when I'm out because, you know, I just don't have time to wait for it to dry. And that is basically it. If anybody has any questions about anything that I just talked about, just leave me a message below, and yeah, I will get back to you. Thank you. I hope this helped. I know it helped a lot of people last year. It's a little bit more delayed than I'd like it, but you know, life happens. So I hope you all have a great holiday, and looking forward to seeing everybody's 2025 system. Thank you. Bye.